Today, we're going to dive into one of the most heartbreaking things a person can face, statelessness, and we're going to do it by looking at a single, incredibly powerful human story.
You know, the article that inspired this explainer starts with this one line, and it's true. Once you hear this story, it's pretty hard to forget, because it gets right to the very core of what it means to belong somewhere.
So, let's set the scene. Our story starts in Bhutan, and we see it all through the eyes of a little boy who, along with his family, was forced to leave the only home he had ever known.
I mean, think about it. He's just a kid. Words like exile, politics, policy, that all means nothing to him. All he knew, all he could understand, was this sudden gaping loss. The place he was born, the place he loved, it didn't want him anymore. It's such a simple, devastating truth for a child to face.
So, the next chapter of his life unfolds in a refugee camp. His entire childhood, his teenage years, all of it spent in this state of limbo, just waiting. In a place like that, hope isn't something that just comes naturally. It's this fragile little flame you have to protect with everything you've got every single day.
But after all that time, after holding on so tight to that little bit of hope, things finally started to change. A new beginning was on the horizon.
And when you see his journey laid out like this, wow, it really hits you, doesn't it? From a childhood home to years of uncertainty in a camp, and then finally, a new start in the United States. This wasn't just about moving, it was about trying to build a whole new world from the ground up.
And he really, truly did the work. I mean, he learned a whole new language, he worked his tail off, he found a community, he had moments of real joy and moments of private grief that nobody else saw. And bit by bit, he started to feel that fragile sense of belonging start to grow again. He was actually building a home. And then, right when he was finally feeling like he had solid ground under his feet, the whole world just gets pulled out from under him, again.
It was just a mistake, a case. That's all they called it. These cold, bureaucratic words that were about to completely shatter his life. The result? A deportation order.
But then, and this is where the story gets really wild, as all this is happening, something totally unexpected shows up. Travel documents. And they were issued by Bhutan, the same country that had kicked him out all those years ago. Just for a second, put yourself in his shoes. Can you even imagine the hope that must have sparked in him? After all this time, could this be it? A way back? A journey home?
So he gets on that plane, holding this piece of paper, this symbol of hope. But what was waiting for him on the other side? Well, it was just the cruelest twist imaginable.
What's so horrifying here is just how clinical it all was. It's just a series of steps. He arrived, he presented his official document, and they just took it. He wasn't a citizen. He couldn't come in. And then they quietly pushed him across another border into another country, leaving him with nothing.
And just like that, he's stateless. All over again. The source material has this definition that it says it all, really. It's not one single boom. It's a slow, quiet tearing of a life apart.
And this is what's so important to get, right? We can talk about laws and policies until we're blue in the face, but what we're really talking about is this. It's profound personal heartbreak. It's a human life getting tangled up and torn apart by red tape.
So this whole story, it really forces you to stop and think about this deeply unsettling paradox. A paradox of dignity and cruelty.
Yeah, let's just sit with this for a moment. I mean, really try to wrap your head around that feeling. You lose everything once. You spend decades picking up the pieces and building something new. And then, in an instant, that new ground you built just vanishes.
Okay, so this is the part that is just mind-bending. The source breaks it down perfectly. Look, there are only two ways this can go, right? If these people are in fact Bhutanese citizens, then they deserve the basic dignity of being recognized. But if they're not citizens, then why on earth would you issue them official travel papers that you know will lead them straight into rejection? That's just an act of incredible cruelty. Neither path makes any sense.
So this is what he's left with. I mean, these are the most basic questions that we all take for granted. Which country will let me live here? Who am I a citizen of? Where in this entire world am I even allowed to have a dream for the future? For him, there are just no answers.
And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? That final, haunting question. Belonging shouldn't be something you have to wonder about every single morning when you wake up. It should be a given, a foundation. And this story, it sticks with you because it shows you what happens when that foundation is ripped away. Not just once, but twice.